Well, I'm going to talk now about what I think about where the universe and life came from. I've been looking on the internet and trying to find as much information as I could. And, uh, and my conclusion is what I'm going to tell you right now, what I think, how everything happened. I was reading and I read that it says what was there, and it says what was before the universe. So, in the beginning there was an infinitely dense, tiny ball of matter. A very tiny ball of matter, that's what was hanging there. Then it all went bang, giving rise to the atoms, molecules, stars and galaxies we see today. Or at least that's what we have been told by physicists for the past several decades. So it was a little tiny ball and then it explodes and boom, everything came from there. I've been thinking about life, where does life come from? It's so complicated, everything is so perfect, all these animals, plants and all that variety and like turtles and snakes and birds and they fly and they have so much control and everything is so perfect and I was thinking there's no way that it can come from itself, from nothing, you know. Somebody has to create that stuff. But I don't believe in God, so I don't believe in a guy sitting there in the chair and he is all bored and say, what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna create earth and humans and everything. That's bullshit. That doesn't make sense at all. So I had no answer. Why does it come? Why is it? How is it possible? And then I came to the conclusion that I'm going to talk about right now. So, and they say that the universe is always expanding. We start with a big bang, you know, boom. I believe something like that must have happened. There was like just a ball of energy sitting there and growing and too much energy and it explodes and it creates all these, create the whole universe actually. Because it's a big thing. There's a lot of stuff in there. So, and the universe expands and expands, but there must be a moment that it cannot expand anymore. Nothing lasts forever. There is always a beginning and an end on everything. Everything has beginning and an end. Nothing lasts forever. Not even the universe. So my thinking is that the universe expands and expands because there's so much energy and the explosion and boom and it's going more and more and more. But there's going to be a moment that the energy is running out and there's not more enough energy to keep it all together and keep expanding. So it's going to hang there loose and it's going to fall down on top of each other and it's come back together again and boom, 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 boom. And you have again that black hole, that little tiny thing, how do you call it? The tiny ball of matter. And then all that energy coming together again, it starts again to create in that little ball, all that energy there, it's too much and it starts to explode again, boom, and the universe starts again, boom, expanding, 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 until it's too much and come back again. Of course, it takes millions, billions of years to start and repeat, but everything has a beginning and it has a start, and it starts all over again. Beginning, start, beginning, start, beginning, start, and there's no end to it. Just like I explained to you, I have a movie that I made that infinity and zero is the same. I explained you there, so there is no infinity. There is always a beginning and an end. And then at infinity, it's going to be the zero. That's going to be the start of the next cycle. So you can watch that movie and it's pretty interesting. So okay, we got that. How the universe with the explosion, I believe that stuff, yeah, the Big Bang. But then, how does life on Earth got created? That's the big question too. So let me show you what I found on the internet about how life was created on Earth. mineral-laden water emerging from a hydrothermal vent on the Niue underwater volcano in the Lau Basin, Southwest Pacific Ocean. The microorganisms that live near such plumes have led some scientists to suggest them as the birthplace of Earth's first life forms. Well, I don't know. They imagine that's what it is. Then another one. The earliest life forms we know of were microscopic organisms, microbes. They left signals of their presence in rocks about 3.7 billion years old. The signals consisted of a type of carbon molecule that is produced by living things. That doesn't make sense. It's produced by living things, and then there does the living things come from? Okay, whatever, man. How is life created on Earth? After things cooled down, simple organic molecules began to form under the blanket of hydrogen. Those molecules, some scientists think, eventually linked up to form RNA, a molecular player long credited as essential for life's dawn. In short, the stage for life's emergence was set almost as soon as our planet was born. Yeah, but they don't explain where it came from. Did humans come from the ocean? A tiny sea creature identified from fossils found in China may be the earliest known step on an evolutionary path that eventually led to the emergence of humans. A fossil found in China, that's probably where humans come from. How they come to that conclusion? Oh, man. Okay, did life begin on land? First cells likely arose in steamy mud pots, study suggests. The concept, based on the latest cellular and geological research, reassembles a suggestion by famed naturalist Charles Darwin that life could have sprung from warm little pond rich in nutrients. Yeah, could be. In A Comb Jelly, the evolutionary history of the comb jelly has revealed surprising clues about Earth's first animal. In the jelly, they found the clues of the Earth's first animal. They saw that in that jelly. A comb jelly. The evolutionary history of the comb jelly has revealed surprising clues about Earth's first animal. Yeah, they could see all that stuff in the jelly, in the comb jelly. They could see all that, how everything was created. Those guys are smart. Did all life come from one cell? We now know that all extant living creatures derive from a single common ancestor called Luca, the last universal common ancestor. It's hard to think of a more unifying view of life. All living creatures are linked to a single-celled creature, the root of the complex branching tree of life. Did humans evolve from fish? Oh. There is nothing new about humans and all other vertebrates having evolved from fish. There is nothing new about it. Everybody knows we come from fish. So. The conventional understanding has been that certain fish shimmied landwards roughly 370 million years ago as primitive lizard-like animals known as tetrapods. Yeah, we come from fish. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's because that's the reason why I like fish, because I am a fish, come from a fish. My grandparents were fish. What did all life start as? The earliest life form we know of were microscopic organisms, microbes, that left signals on their presence in rocks about 3.7 billion years ago. The signals consisted of a type of carbon molecule that's produced by living things. How did creatures get on Earth? One, photosynthesis has raised atmospheric oxygen levels high enough, the ozone layer formed, meaning that it was then possible for living things to venture onto the land. The oldest fossil evidence of multicellular animals, the metazoans, is burrows that appears to have been made by smooth worm-like organisms. So now we come from worms. Our grandparents were worms, not fish. Okay. Did we all come from water? Humankind evolved from a bag-like sea creature that has a large mouth, apparently had no anus, and moving by wriggling. Scientists have said the microscopic species is the earliest known prehistoric ancestor of humanity and lived 540 million years ago. A study published in the journal Nature said. So we come from a bag-like sea creature with a big mouth. Maybe because a lot of people have big mouths. Maybe that's come from. But he had no anus. I don't know, how did he go to the restroom? Through his big mouth, maybe? How did the first humans reproduce? When the earth was new, all living things reproduced asexually. Rather than finding sexual partners, individuals begot copies of themselves to perpetuate like ilk. This was simple. It was efficient. Every member of the species was capable of reproducing and did so without the help of any other kin, from any of their kin. So before they had like a, well, we are going back to that part because there's no more man and male and female. We're going back to the past. See, everything has a start and a finish, and we go back to fish. When we get older and older, our next generation, we will become asexual, how do they call it? Yeah, asexual. Humans become asexual again. We're going that way because people have a hard time to differentiate between man and a woman, so we're going that way. We're going to be asexual again, and then we become fish again, and back to bacteria. Yeah. Were humans ever asexual? Answer and explanation. No. Humans could not have ever reproduced asexually. The human reproductive system is highly specialized for sexual reproduction. Well, so they're contradicting there. What was the first gender? Genetics suggests modern female came first. First there was the female. I thought man was the first one, according to the Bible, no? Man, and then God took his rib and created a woman. But no, the first gender was a female. Genetics suggests that. Okay. All right. How did life come from nothing? One of the leading theories is that life emerged from chemical processes in Earth's early ocean. Simple chemical precursors such as water, carbon and hydrogen mixed and mingled until they formed complex polymers like DNA, RNA and protein, the building blocks of life. Well, you just mix water, carbon and hydrogen and mix it until you get complex polymers like DNA and RNA. I have to try that one of these days. Maybe I can create humans. Once the early rain of comets and asteroids upon the Earth subsided somewhat, subsequent impacts may well have delivered the water and carbon-based molecules to the Earth's surface, thus providing the building blocks of life itself. Oh, so it was an impact that delivered water and carbon-based molecules. And then life came from there. It's simple. All this explanation of where life comes from. Did all life come from one thing? All life on Earth evolved from a single-celled organism that lived roughly 3.5 billion years ago. A new study seems to confirm. The study supports the widely held universal common ancestor theory first proposed by Charles Darwin more than 150 years ago. Well, we come from a single-celled organism. That's it. What color was the first human on Earth? They figured it out, what the color was of the first human on Earth. These early humans probably had pale skin, much like humans' closest living relatives, the chimpanzee, which is white under its fur, around 1.2 million to 1.8 million years ago. Early Homo sapiens evolved dark skin. Well, because of the chimpanzees, but they have white skin, they say. White skin, which is white under its fur. But the first humans, they had dark skin. That makes sense. Eh? Did humans come from monkeys? Humans and monkeys are both primates, but humans are not descended from monkeys or any other primate living today. We do share a common ape ancestor with chimpanzees. It lived between 8 and 6 million years ago. Well, our grandparents were the same. The monkeys and we had the same grandparents. Yeah, some people still act like monkeys still, so maybe it's true. Why did humans begin walking on two legs? Freeing hands for carrying food, tools, or babies, enabling early humans to appear larger and more intimidating, helping early humans cover wide, open landscapes quickly and efficiently. Yeah, to carry the babies, you have to carry your baby, so that's why you need to walk on your feet. Where did life come from in the universe? Arrhenius suggested that life on Earth arose from panspermia, microscopic spores that wafted through space from planet to planet, or solar system to solar system, by radiation pressure. Well, we come from panspermia, microscopic pores, and they travel from one planet to the other. They just go, hey, let's go there. And they ended up on Earth, I guess, and say, okay, let's stay here, it's cool here. They have casinos and they have a lot of fun here, movie theaters. Was the first human black? Answer and explanation. Yes, the first humans were almost certainly black. The human species evolved in East Africa about 200,000 years ago. Black skin was necessary for survival in this hot and sunny climate. Yeah, if you live in a hot and sunny climate, like in Las Vegas, for example, that's hot and sunny. If you're not black, you're not going to be able to survive here. I don't know how I can survive here. I'm living in Las Vegas, it's hot and sunny, and I'm white. It's hard, man. Life is hard. Huh? Yeah, how do white people survive in Africa, on the equator? It's so hot and How can they survive? White people cannot survive. You have to be black to survive in Africa. I wonder why Eskimos are not white. So cold there. Black people cannot survive there. No way. Well. Human ancestor was an ancient fish. Our human ancestor was an ancient fish. So here we go again, we come from fish. Though it lived 375 million years ago, this fish called Tiktaalik. It had shoulders, elbows, legs, wrists, a neck and many other basic parts that eventually became part of us. Wow, this fish is kind of intelligent and very interesting fish. It's called Tiktaalik, with shoulders, elbows, legs, wrists. I would like to see that fish with shoulders and neck and many other basic parts. Legs. We just walked out of the sea and said, hey, let's stay here. It's better here. It's warmer than in the sea. Oh, man. Are humans made of atoms? About 99% of your body is made up of atoms of hydrogen. So 99% of our body is made of hydrogen. That's explosive hydrogen. It's dangerous. Don't put fire next to your body. Hydrogen, carbon, nitrogen and oxygen. You also contain much smaller amounts of other elements that are essential for life. Okay. What is life made of? The 6 most common elements of life on Earth, including more than 97% of the mass of a human body, are carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, sulfur and phosphorus. So that's 97%. And the other 3%, we don't know what it is. What elements do humans need to survive? Let's see what elements we need to survive. About 99% of the mass of human body is made up of 6 elements: oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, calcium and phosphorus. Only about 0.85% is composed of another 5 elements: potassium, sulfur, sodium, chlorine and magnesium. All 11 are necessary for life. Okay. Then here, what is the smallest thing in the universe? As far as we can tell, quarks cannot be broken down into smaller components, making them the smallest things we know of. In fact, they are so small that scientists aren't sure they even have a size. They could be immeasurably small. We don't know. We do know that they are at least 10 to the 18th, 10 to the power of 18, or 1 quintillion times smaller than Alice. Who is Alice? Smaller than Alice. Well, I don't know how big Alice is. What is a human body made of? Chemically, the human body consists mainly of water and of organic compounds, lipids, proteins, carbohydrates, and nucleic acids. Water is found in the extracellular fluids of the body, the blood plasma, the lymph, and the interstitial fluid, and within the cells themselves. Yeah. Okay. Where did water come from? Newcombe and the co-authors discovered that, contrary to popular belief, not all outer solar system's objects are rich in water. This led them to conclude that water was likely delivered to Earth via unmelted or chondritic meteorites. Newcombe said their findings have applications beyond geology. Whoa. So water was not created on Earth, it came from somewhere else via unmelted and chondritic meteorites. Must be a lot of meteorites and chondritic, unmelted or chondritic meteorites. Yeah, meteorites brought all that water here. There'll be a fucking lot of meteorites coming here, bring all that water from. And where did the water come from? From where else? From somewhere else. Where did they make the water? Some guy sitting there making water and then throw it into the universe and why don't we still have meteorites coming to Earth once in a while? But we didn't see no water, more water coming. Why did they stop bringing water? We need water here in Las Vegas. Lake Mead is getting dry, so we need more meteorites. I mean these unmelted meteorites. So much bullshit, unbelievable. All scientists, okay? What would happen if you split a quark? Quarks and gluons are the building blocks of protons and neutrons, which in turn are the building blocks of atomic nuclei. Scientists' current understanding is that the quarks and gluons are indivisible. They cannot be broken down into smaller components. Looking for quarks. Yet we cannot identify any track with a quark. Strange. It turns out that no experiment to date has identified a track that could be a quark. So we have never directly observed quarks in the same way we have observed particles like electrons and protons. So they've never seen quarks, which is the smallest thing that ever exists, but they know that nothing is smaller than a quark. They've never seen one, they just imagine that. But those guys are scientists, they know all that stuff, so whatever they say, that's what it is. They say the quark is the smallest thing that exists and you cannot make it smaller, even if they haven't seen one, but they already know because they're so fucking smart. Unbelievable. So that's what I got about what the scientists are saying about how life came on Earth. Okay, now after I read all this stuff, I came with my own conclusion that at the Big Bang, Earth got formed, boom, 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 all these atoms, molecules and whatever, quarks and everything got boom, boom, all mixed up. And if you create the environment, then things happen. Like, how do you make water? You need hydrogen and oxygen. But if you have hydrogen and oxygen by itself, you're not going to make water. It just stays together and that's it. You need a spark. If there is no spark or a lot of heat, nothing is going to happen. You need a lot of heat or a spark, and then you have the explosion and boom, and they connect together and you form water. That's how water was formed. During the beginning of the forming of Earth, all that stuff that was going on, that's when you form water, not because a meteorite. So according to the scientists, if there is no meteorites with water falling on Earth, there is going to be no water here. So thanks to the meteorites. But now we don't see no more meteorites falling on Earth, so we don't get more water. We need more meteorites with water falling here. Because everybody is complaining that they have no water enough. In California, and Lake Mead in Las Vegas is getting dry, so much bullshit, man. And these are guys that's supposed to be scientist, smart idiot. Oh God. So everything was created on Earth. When Earth was created, there was all kinds of explosions and a lot of action and reaction going on here. And that's when everything got created. We got created gold, silver, aluminum, all these minerals, the periodic table, all that stuff got created here. Not because somebody put it here, it came by itself. Suddenly, boom, Earth was here. No, it was with all that reaction, the atoms, molecules, quarks, and whatever stuff they come up with, mixed up all together, and you form all that stuff. Metals, water, oxygen, hydrogen, gases, all the elements from the periodic table, they all got created here when the Earth was formed, including water, didn't come from Earth, including life, all got created on Earth when all the reaction was going on here. And when the Earth started to cool off and start to form solid rocks and everything, then you can find everything you can find right now, all these minerals and everything you find in the periodic table, you can find everywhere on Earth. It got created during the creation of Earth, including life. Life was created here on Earth because the circumstances were there. Just like if you want to make hydrogen and oxygen, you're not going to get water if you don't have a spark. So when the spark is there, then boom, then automatically you're going to create water. The same thing, all the elements for life, they were here. If you put all the conditions and they are there, then it gets created. The same thing how we created cars and airplanes and computers. It got created automatically by nature. But the conditions to get there, you have to create first humans, and the humans then they use all the elements in Earth, put them all together, and they create computers and airplanes and cars and all that stuff. So the conditions, if the conditions are there, you create everything. You create a computer, you just put the conditions and you have a computer. Through humans and all that stuff. The same thing, if you want to make life, you have to bring all these conditions, all the molecules and everything, put them all together, and the conditions are there, you're going to create life. Just like when there is like right now we have a lot of grasshoppers in Las Vegas. And you see it through history, sometimes you have millions or billions of grasshoppers flying everywhere. Where they come from? Because the conditions were there. If the conditions are there, it automatically gets created. When I drive through the desert, you see desert, nothing, everything is dry, only a few cactuses here and there, and a few dry plants. And then suddenly you see a whole area full of nice flowers. Where do the flowers come? In the middle of the desert where nothing grows, but nice flowers, full of flowers. Because the conditions are there. With the right conditions, you get it. If you want to plant potatoes in the desert, it's not going to work. But you put the right soil and you put water there, it's going to grow. Because you put the right conditions. So that's why they say here that life comes from the sea. I can believe that, from the sea, because of the conditions are there. And also because the sea, the salt, the water in the sea is salty, so it's a good conductor of electricity. And you have electricity in the sea because if you have metals, if you have two different kinds of metals, they create electricity in water that conducts electricity, like salt water. You put copper and zinc in a glass of water that's with salt to create so the electricity can, so there is less resistance for electricity, because like just pure water, like tap water, doesn't conduct electricity very good. But if you put salt in there, then it's a good conductor of electricity, and you're going to create an electric voltage. So in the sea, with all that salt water and all the metals that you will find here and there, you find some metals. So they're going to create electricity, and that maybe we have electricity in our body, electric impulses and all this stuff. So and then the salt water and all the minerals and everything, and you get bacteria and everything. They come together. It starts forming some life, and then later on maybe life gets out of the water, like that fish with the shoulders and the legs. And but things can create also again. Can be created also not only in the sea, outside, like the plants, for example. Plants probably got created not in the sea, but outside, because the conditions were there. The molecules, the atoms, everything was there, and it gets created. If you form the conditions, you're going to get a plant. And also, people think that we are very close to monkeys. But no, they say that our DNA is closest to that of a pig. We are very close to the pigs. And I can understand that because a lot of people act like pigs, so maybe we come from the same grandparents as pigs. So I can believe that one. Yes, but if you look at it, all these animals, like regular animals that you see, I'm not talking about worms or insects or something. I mean like dogs or cats or elephants and all these birds. They all have the same thing. We have a mouth, a nose, eyes and ears, and we have 4 legs. They all have 4 legs. You don't see an animal with 5 or 6 legs. I'm not talking about other things, just like the regular animals. We all have 4 legs. Birds have 2 wings and 2 legs. It's all 2 here and 2 there. And the same thing, and we have to go to poop and pee, and they have stomach, and it's all kind of the same mother, the same origin. Only they got grown in a different way. But it all looks like it's come from the same seed, So everything comes from earth. That's what it is. It got made by itself, create the conditions. Now humans made the computers and the cars and the airplanes, but now we're going to have artificial intelligence. So that artificial intelligence is going to create more things that humans cannot create because we don't have enough mental power to mix all that information up. And artificial intelligence can do that. They have all the information in their brain and they can make quick decisions. So we can come up with some new stuff through artificial intelligence. So we create the bacteria, we create the humans, and we create artificial intelligence, and the artificial intelligence creates something else, and then one day it's going to be the end of no more sun, no more earth, everything gets back to the black hole, and it starts all over again. Boom, explosion, and boom, boom, boom. Some planets get formed, some planets create air, oxygen, water, and life starts, and it starts all over again. So it's a circle going on and on, on and on. But it's not like somebody created this stuff. I was always thinking somebody has to create this stuff. There's no other way, and I don't believe in God, so that's no way. So who did it? It has to come from itself. And a lot of stuff we don't know. Everything is so complicated. The universe is unbelievable. Everything that's possible and that's going on there, and it's crazy. And there is a lot of stuff that we don't even know, like the table of the elements. How many elements are there? Like 120 or something. Okay, that's all the elements that we know. And who knows how many more elements are there? Maybe there's 1,000 more elements that we don't know that they exist. We only can detect 120 or something. and we invent a few more. But who knows, maybe the table of elements is way, way bigger than what we can imagine. All those things that exist that we don't even know they exist. Then also we have the frequency bands. You know the frequencies? The low frequency is a like the voice, you can hear between 20 and 20,000 cycles per second. That's the frequencies that we can hear. Then we go higher, that means we have radio frequencies. Then we have shortwave. Then we have television and FM radio frequencies. Then higher we go microwave frequencies. Then millimeter wave telemetry. Then we have fair IR, I don't know what that is. Then we have visible energies, like the different colors, red, blue, green, they have different frequencies. And then higher than that, we have ultraviolet frequencies. Next higher is X-rays and gamma rays. And that's it. Higher than that, we cannot detect. So who knows how many more frequencies higher are there existing there? Maybe it's unlimited, who knows? But we cannot detect them, we don't know that they exist. Same thing with the table of the elements. So who knows how many more there are? We don't know nothing, man. We don't know shit. If the Bible is the knowledge of the universe, all the knowledge is in there. The whole Bible, that's a big book, a lot of pages in there. Because I read the Bible and it took me like a whole month just to read the Bible. What we know is probably the first page of the Bible. That's how much we know of what you're supposed to know everything about the universe. We don't know shit, man. That's what we know. But here we are, and I don't know, one day we'll die and then we become molecules again, and we become part of something else. We're going to form something else. So that's what I have to say about the universe and about life on Earth. So hope you liked it. That's what I think about it. So thank you for watching.